Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new compact brushless eraser. This is the Lanchi, the Monster 76. So a 76 millimeters diagonal FPV eraser. This model in theory offers a lot of new electronics elements. For example, by the classic F3 omnibus board, now we have with this machine an F4, so with some faster CPU clock, including built-in Betaflight OSD. The ESC 10 ampere, supporting BLES and D-Shot 600, and got a peak up to 15 ampere. So in theory, you can pour the ESC up to a 4S LiPo. For the motors is a different story. There are some 1104 spinning super fast, 8000 kV. So theoretically, they are not supporting 3S, only 2S. Maybe can support unofficially. I want to check that fact. For the FPV ring, we have a classic 25 milliwatt video transmitter, 40 channel 48 and 700 130 CMOS camera in the IO module. So this model comes in with a 2S LiPo with JST connector. So let's discover basically the content of the box. First of all, also I forgot to mention that there are three type version. The BNP version, so you will have to provide your own receiver, and other two choices for the BNA version, FlySky in D8 mode, supporting the S-Bus communication, and FlySky supporting RFHDS2 protocol in PPM mode. So let's open it. Okay, and we have this box where you will be able to find an instruction manual, very basic, okay, where you will be able to find the main characteristic already mentioned. I forgot, I was wrong, it's a 500 milliamps power 2S LiPo, and we have some 1630 3 blade props, okay, some DYS in practice they are not super efficient and bring a lot of jellos in video in practice. So here is the quadcopter, where the battery is already strapped. On the bottom side, you will be able to find two bags of this DYS 3 blade 1630 props, okay, transparent and transparent yellow, a basic USB charging cable ending with this balancer plug for 2S battery. So already attached on bottom line, you can find this battery, no specific mark, assumed to be 500 milliamps power, 2S with a balancer plug and a GST1. The gold of wire is not super strong, so beware if you won't observe some battery swagging with. Okay, I guess a better battery with higher discharge rate will be a must to have with such kind of model. So let's focus a little bit on the quadcopter. First of all, it's relatively small and compact. Let's compare with a direct competitor, which was the Chaser 88. Look at that, it's much smaller. Okay, so this one was in 2S and was one of the first, okay, with the mini tower, okay, with the but no OSD, just a basic buzzer, that's all. Okay, with this one, not only is smaller, but we have a stronger F4 board. Okay, you can see here. So we have the lower plate, which is the main ESC 10 ampere up to 15, and I immediately noticed that the soldering job is not amazing. I strongly advise as soon as possible to secure a little bit the installation, at least to have more security, to have some liquid electrical tape on the poor soldering job of the AC is not very inspiring me some confidence in it. We got on the middle plate the F4 board where on the rear side we can guess the micro USB connector, where the Betaflight 3.1.0 for Omnibus F4 is flashed. It's not the ultimate one, so if you want to flash the last one, Betaflight 3.2 will be available soon. There is a release candidate. And on top, since I've got a BNF version, I've got the FieldSky D8. We can see the FieldSky receiver here, where the bind button can be found exactly here, okay, where you can click with the scene tweeter on it, or if you prefer, if you want to more room, you can also access by this second button installed on top here on the left side. It's assumed to be also the bind button. A buzzer is installed also, okay, as well as two LEDs, so they are programmable through Betaflight. That's great. So a lot of very modern ingredients already installed. The I/O camera is installed with an angle of more or less something about 20 degrees, and on top you can find the main button, okay, where you, if you short press on it, you will be able to select the VFREC inside the current selected band, and if you long press on it, you will be able to select the V band. Okay, it's a CMOS camera where you have a piece of foam installed, so it should absorb more or less some jello. And rear, you can find the 2.4 GHz antenna of the FieldSky. Laterally, you have the ESC PWM signal wires. Okay, and each side now we have the 1104 motors. 8,000 kV. Sound relatively well, and look the distance between the tower and the prop. No really free room to install something more larger than 16. Okay, I guess maybe the racer fourth blades of the Aurora 100, for example, could be installed, such kind of model, and yes, seems to be, and should bring a little bit more power, and I think, and remove also the jellos. It's really interesting to test that. The frame looks super resistant, especially the lower frame. I can give you the dimension of the 3 key carbon. Look pretty strong, and it's a 2 millimeters, and the lateral one is a little bit thinner, something about 1.25. One drawback, I would say, is how the mini tower, welcoming the I/O camera, is attached to the main board towers only by 2 carbon clips. Okay, here I can notice in here, and I guess if you have a lateral crash like this, this part will be very under stress and will break. So I'm not sure versus time that the I/O module camera mount will resist. Anyway, it's like this. Let's give some information about the weight. So without the battery, this machine weighs already, it's relatively light. Okay, so maybe I can optimize a little bit the GST installation to be sure to measure correctly the weight. We have something 54.2 grams, super light, and with the I/O camera, we are 70, less than 80 grams, and in comparison with the, I would say the chatter, without the battery, this one is already 63, 64. So compared to we are close to 10 grams more lighter for the Monster 76. It's a great news with more stronger ingredient. Another drawback, and the main one I would say, is concerning the receiver connection, at least for the FieldSky version. And as already mentioned by NJRC, already reviewed this machine. For the FieldSky version, if you plug this machine into Betaflight binding, classically like any FieldSky D8 receiver, you won't observe any movement in Betaflight. Why? The main reason is here. You have the yellow cable here, which is the signal wires soldered on the wrong bad location. Here it's assumed to be in the ppm bad, but in practice it's not working. To solve this problem, to make your FieldSky receiver working, you have to attach these wires in the S-bus configuration. So in the third from the left, 1, 2, 3 is here the free one. Okay, I hope you will be able to see. We'll make a zoom. Okay, please focus. Okay, I think you will be able. And the third one here is the free available. So I will shift this yellow, the fourth on the from the left to the third on the left. Okay, it's a must to do if you want to see your receiver working, the FieldSky receiver working in S-Bus configuration. Of course, you will have to change correspondingly your Betaflight settings to turn on the UART, associated UART, select the serial protocol, and more specifically S-Bus communication. Except that, we can turn on the machine. We have a buzzer, that's definitively a great news, and as well some programmable lights. Okay, so let's turn. It's very loud, so no problem to find your machine. We have some LEDs, programmable, and sounds super great. You have this blue light waiting for a binding. Okay, I will show in few instance how to bind, but it's classic. You will have to press this bind button, okay, while powering the machine, and after bind the button. So let's check the binding procedure for common for all the FieldSky, but if you are beginner, it's always interesting. Then after, check the Betaflight settings. Okay, so let's select on your favorite FieldSky compatible radio the D8 mode. For Deviation TX is the basic FieldSky. Okay, press be ready to bind, and here, okay, you will have to press the bind button, or either the top one here, or the direct on the receiver while powering. So what you can do, you can start to pre-insert the GST connector, not completely, and then press the bind button. I will use the direct one. You must hear a click. Okay, and when it's done, the receiver should start to flash. You can, in theory, release the bind button and press bind. Okay. If everything is okay, the blue LED should disappear. Okay, and then you will have to power everything, the quadcopter and the receiver and the transmitter, repower on everything. Okay, then I've got a flashing blue LEDs. As soon as I will turn on, it should become solid like this. Okay, let's check if we have the telemetry available. And it seems we don't have any telemetry transmitted by this FieldSky receiver. It's I think one of the drawbacks of this machine. Before to check the Betaflight configuration, I will perform the S-Bus fixing, okay, in order to have to see the stick movement in Betaflight. Okay, so I will show how to fix the FieldSky receiver for S-Bus communication. So you will have to unsolder, and strongly advise to remove the two front pops, okay, and just unsolder. Use a tweezer and then attach more. Okay, prepare, reattach some basic soldering. Prepare on the free. Like this. Okay, we're ready to go. You from the and voila, now we should have some S-Bus connection working, and be sure to and I will show you in Betaflight how to fix the S-Bus communication from the default factory settings. Anyway, let's check now the default Betaflight settings. Okay, so let's check the default Betaflight settings. So I will plug the Monster 76 on my USB port. I will press connect. and immediately check the current version installed. So we have an Omnibus F4 version firmware, and the version is 3.1.5, almost the last one. In the next days, the full final release of the Betaflight 3.2 will be available. So waiting just a couple of days. And now the more important we start. And as you may know, we did the SBus fix. And if we go to the port, actually the receiver should be available on UART 1, and you don't see it. The first things to do is go to the configuration, and here, instead of the default non-working PPM, you will have to select a serial-based receiver, and more precisely on SBus connection. Press save and reboot. Okay. Go to connect, and now if we go to the UART port, bingo, the UART 1 is appearing, so you know that this one, the serial should be turned on. It's what I will do. Okay. And let's now return to the configuration to see everything. Out of the box, we have a quad-X design, obviously, and we have only one shot 125, so you can turn on D-shot 600, okay. And since we have a F4 board, we can go much faster than 4 kilos. We can go to 8 kilo without problem. No specific board alignment, okay. And first, you can turn off the black box, because except if you want to record to adjust your PIDs. That's all. It's the last version of the Betaflight configurator. The monitoring of the VBAT is turned on for the OSD. I can save. Reconnect. And as you can see, the CPU load is still super slow. I will just check that I'm 8 kilos, so no problem to supporting faster loop. The phase safe still okay. We are on drop, no problem. And let's check the PIDs. Actually, this is the default PID settings of Betaflight 3.1.5. No specific. I will adjust my favorite rates. Okay, so something more about 800 degrees per second. Okay, will be okay, and more a linear answer for the YAR command. Okay, and I will decrease to 73, so I'm close to 600. I will decrease a little bit the level stress for both angle and horizon. Okay, and I will press save. So now let's check the receiver. I will turn on my radio, and now everything is okay. Is working fine, and in my profile I already centered all the 4 main channel to the value of 1500. Be sure to be to go above 1930 to arm correctly, okay, for example, and to disarm with the YAR command, except if you want to use a NOT channel. I've got the aux1 as well aux 2, where I will be able to assign a buzzer, for example. I will apply an RC deadband as well, and a YAR deadband, okay, for my command. Now I will check the default mode. As you can see, by default, the flight mode switch, when it's in up position, you are in acro with air mode turned on, and when it's in the middle, you are in stabilized flight mode. It's not very intuitive. And when you are in the third bottom position, you are in pure acro without air mode. I will change a bit that. Okay, I will more apply angle stabilize where I am in the lower upper position, attitude. Okay, and I will use air mode more when I will be in the down position. For the buzzer beeper, okay, I will assign more aux2 and the intermediate value from the second part. So as you can see, I can apply the beeper, no problem, for my mode. Let's go now for the OSD information, and you can see that the design is the default one, though, so no very stabilized. So I will immediately apply a pale in metric, apply a capacity of the battery, okay, and the current flight time we can expect from the current battery, something about 5 minutes. Since we don't have the RSSI, I won't display it. I will apply the display of the main settings, remove the artificial horizon. Okay. I will apply the crosshair, very useful in my point of view, and remove the on time and keep the flight time. And now I will apply a little bit more of the stuff in the different position of the element. And what I want to apply also, this is the throttle. Okay, here where I will be able to apply here. So this is my favorite layout settings. So now everything is configured for the USD. I will check the LEDs and let's check the position zeros. So we have the color associated with the aux1, very strange. So it's changing the color according to the flight mode. So for example, you have green when you are actually in angle, blue in the middle position, and orange in the lower position. It's up to you if you prefer to that the LEDs indicate the flight more, or more the turning if you are more applying a racer. So what I will apply is more on the throttle, okay, or on the pitch or roll. It's up to you, but I will turn off here that and now apply more indicator, and the same for the second one, indicator. I will save. I will check that everything is okay. That I've got the light, and it seems more or less okay. So now it's time to save and check the performances in the field.